1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's go! Welcome to another episode of Fave 5 from Fans, the podcast where we explore all things favorite. I'm your ever-enthusiastic host, Jamie Ray, and today, once again, zooming into the Plastic Microphone Studios, is David Hayes, joining me to discuss our Fave 5 broadcast, TV, movie, films, movie events, you know, those fun things back in the day where we just sit around and this was the big thing coming on. Welcome back to the show, Dave.
Very much. I'm happy to be here for the third time.
Third. Wow. Well, welcome back to the show, Dave. So I got to ask real quick, why broadcast TV movies? I mean, I can see from your beard, you and I are probably close to the same age, but what was it that makes you want to do broadcast TV film?
So these were like must-see events, right? People waited all week for this. They were touted. Some of our favorite characters from the 1970s and 80s actually were started in these TV movies. Like Columbo was not a show. It was a series of, TV movies, and they were on broadcast. They weren't in theaters. And with that, this is kind of like a testament to the craftsmanship of film in the 70s and 80s and 90s, wherein, they didn't have a lot of money. They were all shot on film, of course, but they didn't have a lot of money. We always got a recognizable star. We've got an up and comer that could go on to be famous in both directing or acting, and they really dealt with a lot of genre stuff. And I love genre, horror, thriller, all of those things, science fiction. And so this was kind of like the playground of filmmakers for the longest time, and it was a wonderful time to tune in. And we didn't have many choices either. We had to sit through the commercials, and the films were in a 7-act structure because of commercial breaks. So it was different than going to the movies. But some of the most well-told stories and widely seen things are here. It's kind of like a cultural zeitgeist for people of a certain age.
Yeah. And also they had some really great writers and really great script material. Things like Richard Matheson, for example. They would take and bring his stuff on. So I 100% agree with you. You'd get that black and white, cover that. You'd get that TV guide with the full color page in the front, and then open it up, and you'd see that full color ad saying, how this and this are going to come on this Friday night. And you're like, okay, well, I know what I'm doing Friday night. I'm not going anywhere else.
Depending on how old you were, you would beg to stay up too, because some of them came on a little later. And a lot of this was literally destination programming, where you waited and waited and waited. And so, like, to be clear, we're not talking about miniseries. So if it was over 2 nights, that would be like a miniseries, or 3 or 4 nights. These are single feature-length films. A lot of them had theatrical releases overseas too. But these feature-length films that came on ABC, CBS, NBC, and then later stages in Fox, when that first started, on the weekends, usually Fridays.
Oh, that's true. I don't have any Fox because we didn't have Fox. I didn't have it until I moved to Lafayette, which was probably when I was 21 or 22, which would have been 1991, 92. So
yeah, there's far fewer Fox. It just started later. But yeah, if you wanted a recognizable name and a good story, largely a good story most of the time, or something that was just going to be a water cooler moment the next Monday, their TV movies were it.
That's it. Well, I have to tell you, I did not keep mine straight to the movies. I
Oh,
started looking at everything I could remember. Ended up, not everything, almost all of them were movie events. And when I sat down, for some of them, actually even sat down, I was like, I cannot remember that this was 2 or 3 nights. Um, and so, yes, you can beat me with a wet noodle. Didn't even follow my own instructions, but geez, there's some good ones, and I can't wait until we get started on them.
oh yeah.
So,
I mean, so some of those two nighters, we'll call them a 4 hour movie. How about that?
yes, how about that? Yeah, yeah. Especially when it's on DVD and there's no cut between it. So, and that is one thing too. Is a lot of these have never been released since then.
Yeah.
You can find bad copies on YouTube, or maybe pick them up at a I don't know, con. I actually have one that was called The Night on the Bridge. It's like an Irwin Allen film where Leslie Nielsen's the bad guy. I picked it up, I think, at a thrift store, but it was one of those like Warner Brother selects where you could order them and they would make it for you. So it's not a very good movie, but it's an excellent looking film, you know. So all right, well, enough about that. I
Yeah.
am really excited to hear your honorable mentions. Usually, what we say, an honorable mention is something that couldn't quite make it onto the list because the other five were just concrete, or maybe it was something that was so memorable that you had to make sure you talk about it. And before the show, I asked you, and you said you have two for us. So why don't you go ahead and give us your honorable mentions?
Okay, my first honorable mention, and these are honorable mentions because I think that most people would kind of pick them. So
Okay.
they're kind of commonplace. My first one is Trilogy of Terror.
Uh huh.
That was it was a TV movie, of course, 1975. So,
What?
and
Wait, there's one thing though. Before you do that, I want to get in. It's a match.
was that your
I
honorable
have it as an
mention?
honorable mention as well.
There we go. Very cool. So,
Very
but,
nice.
but I thought it was groundbreaking at the time, right?
Yeah.
And this is something that everyone talks about. That Zuni fetish doll is a piece of horror history.
Yes.
Karen Black's performance. So, and to be fair, I didn't watch this when it premiered. I would have been 4, so
Yeah.
I'd seen it subsequently. But it's been rebroadcast, of course, and it was from ABC. So one of the big three put this one out, and yeah, it's an anthology. If you're not familiar with anthologies, think Creepshow.
Right.
So a series of 3 stories written by Richard Matheson, like you said before, some of the best writers of all time, and it's directed by Dan Curtis. And you're going to hear Dan Curtis pop up over and over
Oh
again
yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
discussions of TV movies, and specifically Dark Shadows was his big
Right.
thing. So
Right.
Dan Curtis was king of the genre TV movies. Super good with this, and so I have got this one as my first honorable mention. Also William F. Nolan wrote one of the stories too. So more of those genre writers, like big time book authors that got some play in the TVs.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, it had 3 segments. But interesting enough, Karen Black was in all the segments, but she
Mhm.
played 4 characters.
Yep.
And that's because if you watch it, the second one is about twins. So Karen was amazing. I loved her like in Airport, and I've seen her in some other stuff, but it always comes back to that Zuni fetish.
It does, and that's probably. I think probably the most recognizable, animated terror sort of thing, like a reanimated. Trying
Yeah, it set the stage for like Chucky and
yes,
Tiffany and all that.
yeah, all of it, and so and it was right around the same time that Magic came out with
Oh, yeah. Anthony
Anthony Hopkins and
Hopkins.
Ventriloquist Dummy, comes to life. So it was part of that push, but it was so well done that it scared the hell out of people.
Yeah.
It was a television movie, so there's no swearing, of course. There's no nudity. This is just the craft of scares,
Right.
and it's incredibly well done.
Yeah, I could not agree more. That's why it's a match. Well, great. Well, tell us your other honorable mention.
All right, my other honorable mention has a couple of side honorable mentions with it.
Okay, Mark. I mean, David, go ahead.
It all kind of goes together though. So my other honorable mention, I'll make sure I get my information right on this one because I don't want to give people the wrong idea. Will be uh, the Star Wars Holiday Special.
No, that actually never happened.
Oh, it
Yeah.
happened.
Oh no, no, no. George Lucas said it never happened.
Oh, it
Oh my
happened.
God, you got it on Blu-ray.
Life Day. This is your life
Harvey
day.
Korman and B. Arthur are just fantastic in this
Tremendous.
hypothetical TV show.
Yes. Yes. So CBS, 1978, November of 1978, and it's a variety show set in the Star Wars universe, with the conceit being that Chewbacca has to get back home to Kashyyyk for Life Day, which is the end of year celebration for the Wookiees. The best part is outside of a bit of television watching that Chewbacca's wife is doing, there's no English in the first 40-ish minutes. Oh yeah, it's Wookiee grunts. Um, all of the cast is back. There were some clips used from Star Wars slash A New Hope. In my world, it's just Star Wars.
Star Wars.
We're in David Prowse came, not David Prowse, James Earl Jones came in and revoiced some Darth Vader things like to go look for them on that Wookiee planet. But yeah, it features all kinds of stuff. There's the first appearance of Boba Fett.
Right, in a cartoon.
In an animated version, there is Wookiee porn with Diane Carroll. There's all kinds of things.
There's a lot of singing, a lot too much singing.
If you can have
Force
too
might
much
have been
singing,
with him, but the pitch wasn't.
Jefferson Starship was in it. It's amazing. And so that came in 1978. In the mid 80s, we had two more Star Wars TV movies.
Mm-hmm.
The Ewok Adventure and Ewok's Battle for Endor. So post Return of the Jedi. So those are my kind of add-ins there.
I like that. I actually have that one. Those two.
Since the purchase of Lucasfilm by Disney, though, they've removed Holiday Special and the Ewok films from canon.
Yeah.
So
Jerks.
So sad for the rest of us, but good for that coked out cast. Like,
have you ever seen the behind the scene footage of when it's Chewbacca, like in the first movie, every time they later add his to it with him just yelling stuff? It's crazy.
Just fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay. So my other
Carrie
honorable
Fisher sings in this, by the way. If anyone wants to see Carrie Fisher singing words to the Star Wars theme about the Wookiee Life Day,
yeah,
YouTube this.
Yeah, if you want to have that in your mind for the rest of your lives. Okay, so mine, right away, breaking the rules, is the 1984 NBC movie event adapted from Thomas Thompson's novel. It is called Celebrity. Now, I have no idea why this movie is on my list, other than the fact that it was burned into my 14-year-old mind for some reason, especially. Okay, so basically the story is about three Texas high school friends whose lives are forever changed by a traumatic incident, which you're not going to know about. When one of them commits a very heinous crime, the others are both witnessing, and then the victim dies. And then the boys conceal the body and swear themselves to secrecy. So most of this movie takes place 25 years later, where one of them is a renowned journalist, one of them is a movie star, and one of them is a TV evangelist. And the thing that I remember most about this is that the evangelist guy was in prison, and someone throws a bucket of like bleach and chemicals on him that like go to like burn his eyes and his skin. And after he's fallen down and they come in, there's like a shroud of Turin type thing on the concrete wall of the cell. And they actually have that chunk later on in his TV evangelical show. And it's just the weirdest thing. But it sticks. It sticks. And in the end, as it all does, it culminates and you find out who was the killer. One of them dies and another is basically fighting for his life. So I don't know why this is on my list. It's like me putting the Thornbirds on here or something. But I remember it, and that's why it's an honorable mention.
Burin probably stuck with you.
Could be.
Or what was his name? It would be the Shroud of Bob.
The Shroud of Bob. I think it was the Shroud of Kelber. Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, we can market that. That's marketable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So anyway, if you could find a picture of it online, it's really weird. But I remember the guy shrieking when they threw the lye. I think it was lye and bleach maybe, and it blinded him. But it also put it on the wall. So there you go.
Wanted to kill him, blind him, and get rid of the body all at the same time.
All at the same time. Okay. So those are our honorable mentions. I am now ready to hear your number 5.
Number 5. This one's tough to find.
Oh.
It is YouTubeable.
Okay.
It is Playing with Fire.
Okay.
1985 from ABC, or I'm sorry, NBC. Gary Coleman plays a teenage arsonist.
Okay.
He is he's ridiculed due to his, obvious health difficulties in high school. He's 15. No one takes him seriously. His father, Ron O'Neill, doesn't take him seriously. His mother, Cicely Tyson, doesn't take him seriously. And he acts out by starting fires.
Okay.
And Fire Chief Yaphet Kotto.
Oh, wow.
Realizes it's him. And there's some intervention, but only after he's burned the school down.
Does he kill anybody?
No, it's a TV movie, so no one really dies in this one. But right. Bad Gary Coleman is absolutely wonderful. He's his as an actor, Gary's range was pretty much Arnold, and this is what happened. And Arnold grew up and didn't grow. So he's really bitter. So it kind of had this real life thing to it. He was upset about the same things that Gary Coleman was upset about in real life. Mm-hmm. And the catalyst for the first arson, where he set a garbage can on fire, was tempted to go in and play basketball because his dad bought him a new basketball. But the tall kids just took the basketball because it was nice and wouldn't let him play.
The jokes.
Yeah.
The jokes.
So, to be real, Gary, I mean, you're not going to start. You're not going to first string this. This is, we got to be realistic about it. But they were,
you don't know. You don't know.
No, I'm sure. 100% positive that in the competitive basketball game, Gary's not getting the call up.
Not going to happen.
But they were callous, and he saw all the attention that happened. So it's kind of correct from my forensic psych world. It's kind of accurate to, why people start fires to begin with. So he sees all this attention and all this mayhem he causes, and all the things he can make other people do, like the fire department and the school, when this fire starts. So, he nearly burns his sister up in the middle of it. They don't get him any help, of course, because mom and dad don't want to believe it's, really him. Right. It's just an accident of someone throwing matches at the curtain.
Sure.
How we
happens
do
all the time.
But so spoiler alert, it's a TV movie, so it's a morality play TV movie, so it ends fairly well. And young Gary gives up his arsonist ways and counsels other depressed teens to not start fires. But it's it's something to behold. His little evilness is wonderful. And you're talking about the black and white TV guide cover of it. When you see that, it's Gary Coleman holding a match in front of his face.
Oh wow.
Wonderful. It's wonderful.
Man, I miss that digest TV guide. That
Hmm.
thing was so awesome. Just the ads, the photos in there. I mean, it would get you so pumped about what Bo and Luke Duke were doing this
Yeah,
week. You know? Whew.
and who Gary Coleman was trying to kill with a flame.
That's right. That's right. Well, all right. Well, I'm going to parry that with my number five, and this list, man, it is something. It was hard because I would be like, oh wait, oh this one, oh yeah, that one. So
Mhm.
this one is purely number five, even though it is probably one of the most watched films on this list. And talking about made for TV horror, this actually came from 1972 and it's called Gargoyles. Now, what, you don't like it?
Just made my list.
Ah, it's a match. Just, I mean, it's so, I don't know, atmospheric. Some of the characters are, you've got a really young Scott Glenn as a dirt biker, just wannabe hero type thing. But it's all about this anthropologist, paleontologist, and his daughter travel out to the Southwest where they find a guy who has the skeleton of a gargoyle. And of course, they don't believe it. But while they're there at night and they're trying to make a deal to see if they can buy the story about it, true, actual gargoyles come, attack, they kill the man, and the two of them barely get away with the skull. And this kind of peeves the gargoyles out. So then you've got the rest of the movie going through with nobody believing them there's gargoyles and the gargoyles attacking them. You've got the rather sauced up Randy, owner of the motel who wants to get with the good doctor. And it's really great in a really hokey kind of way. Stan Winston actually won an Emmy for this. And I will tell you, it's because those costumes, though they kind of looked like they kind of had a seam in the back, they were cool. I mean, some of them had fur, some of them had wings, they had females, males, they had kids, they had a whole pre alien type egg room where the gargoyles and a good story too. It wasn't just, oh, this was happening. You find out that this is something that happens over the course of human history, that they would rise up and then they'd have to be put back down, and then this was their time to rise up, and they almost win. And being that this was 72, hmm, that's 50 something years now. I wonder how long till the next one. But that's
Long
my
gone.
number five, Gargoyles.
That's good stuff. That is
Yeah.
really good stuff.
I actually have it on DVD, which was hard to get. But it doesn't, I don't think it plays anywhere right now. But I did see it like on an Amazon or something a while back. So, it comes and goes.
What
But
channel did that broadcast on?
that was on, I'm going to say NBC because you have no way of checking that right now.
Well, I mean, she's winning so far, so there's
Yeah.
that.
It did originally. No, it came out on CBS. CBS in November 1972. I'm going to have to keep a counter here that's going to say ABC, CBS, and NBC. And we'll see at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you have that on your list as well?
No, it was going. It was almost going to be.
Oh, okay.
It didn't make
All
the
right.
cut.
All right.
It's good
All
though.
right. Well, I love it. So let's see what your number four is going to be.
Number 4 is Terror at London Bridge,
Oh,
which is
okay.
also called Bridge Across Time.
I'm not familiar with
And
that.
I think it was released theatrically as Arizona Ripper overseas. But this stars David Hasselhoff,
Mm,
Stephanie Kramer,
yes, I
Adrian
remember this now.
Barbeau, and oh shoot, Clu Gulager. was in this as well. So
Shout out to Elby.
that the real London Bridge was moved brick by brick to Lake
Right.
Havasu, Arizona.
Right.
And apparently
Story.
in true story and in the fake story, apparently the London police in 1898 with their guns shot Jack the Ripper off the London Bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so when some tourists come back and someone bleeds on the bridge on accident, it brings Jack the Ripper back to Lake Havasu of 1985.
Wow.
This is also an NBC movie. So
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff must protect the denizens of Lake Havasu and the gift shop.
Oh, yeah. The
Jack
gift
the
shop's
Ripper.
important.
So, and he is his backstory is fun. He's a Chicago cop that's now in Lake Havasu because he accidentally killed a 14-year-old and during a robbery.
Hate when that happens.
It happens so often. And there's a wonderful reason for why he did that I will not spoil for anyone because it is truly one of the most ridiculous lines ever uttered in the history of all filmed entertainment. It's so good, bad. It was written by William F. Nolan again. So, another big time writer came in, directed by, what's his name? This is great. E.W. Swackhammer.
Oh, it's another Swackhammer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
but
welcome
it's
to
EW,
it's a Swackhammer joint.
Yeah, because sometimes it's the other Swackhammer that does it.
Right? There's so many Swackhammers, and
So-
so we have to protect Stephanie Kramer of Hunter fame, Adrienne Barbeau of All Things fame. Personally, nude scene in the swamp thing, but that's besides the point. And but yeah, this is so wholly inaccurate to how human beings both lived in the 1800s, in the 1980s, and today, and behaved. This is the most anti-intuitive movie of all time, but I loved it. Loved it.
I want to say now, because I've always been fascinated with the story of them building Lake Havasu. Ooh.
Good luck finding one of these.
Oh, you've got your contacts and all over the world that can get that for you. That's what
eBay. That's my contacts.
Wow, well, that's a good one. I like that. All right, so I'm going to come back with one that I not only remember watching, I also remember reading the book after that, and I found it on VHS now, so it's actually part of my collection. It was another NBC television miniseries that aired January 31st, 1982, and it's called World War III. Now, do you remember this one? Okay.
Did it air under World War III?
Yes. It had this big thing where it was kind of almost like a Star Wars crawl. And then there's another one called Ice Station Zebra, but that was not a television movie. That came way before. But it's basically set in 1987 during the height of the Cold War, which, funny enough, it's set in 87 at the height of the Cold War, but because it was filmed in 82, they didn't realize how close, the Berlin Wall coming down actually was. But anyway, the story follows the Soviet forces who attack Alaska's oil pipeline because of a U.S. grain embargo. The plot centers on Colonel Caffrey's National Guard unit defending a pump station against Soviet assault, while leaders in both countries engage in dangerous strategic brinkmanship that threatens to escalate into World War III. You've got David Soul, Brian Keith, Kathy Lee Crosby, and as the president, Rock Hudson. Do you remember seeing this one?
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Wow. So there's a great, because this National Guard group was basically just on maneuvers, and so they're there defending against a fully armed and prepared Soviet group. So they have to figure out how to keep them away until, reinforcements can arrive or whatever. So there's this really great scene where they take a lot of these corrugated iron culverts that are kind of stacked up, and they move them around so that they're laying like crisscross, so that they can lay in them and shoot when the Soviets are coming toward them. Just always remember it. But it was really, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, enough so that I turned around and I went out and bought the book. So that was it. That's another one for NBC.
Made us read. See?
Say that again.
TV movies made us read.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. So, all right. Well, let us hear your number 3.
All right. So my number 3 is based off of a Rona Jaffe's book. And Rona Jaffe wrote a book called, I've got the copy here, not the book, but called Mazes and Monsters.
Oh my God, that was such a good movie.
This is wonderful. This is Tom Hanks' first leading role.
Yep.
And it is about a group that plays Dungeons and Dragons. 1982, CBS. And Dungeons and Dragons at the time was taking a lot of crap. This is the PMRC. This is the Satanic Panic. And in this story, Tom Hanks gets way too involved with the character after they take, some hallucinogenics, and just can't separate real life from Dungeons and Dragons life. So he's killing monsters, aka, pimps on the street. Right. And he can't separate these lives. And for me, this was a real prescient sort of thing, because it's Jaffe's book is supposed to be nonfiction. It's largely a fictionalized account of what happened in the sewers underneath the underground areas of Michigan State, where I went to school.
Oh.
Well, I eventually went to school there, but when I was a kid, this happened, and it was right down the road. So it's this legend of lore of these Dungeons and Dragons kids disappearing into the caverns at Michigan State and never coming out again. And of course, Jaffe's largely fictionalized account of this, resulting in murder and other types of things. But at the time, if you remember, the Satanic Panic was huge.
Yeah.
Everyone was worried about the next, evil thing that the great Dark Lord was going to make our children do. And so I love Dungeons and Dragons, of course. I didn't want to see it go anywhere. And I loved this movie because, for all the wrong reasons, I wanted that separation of reality to go away. I would love to live in this world. I would love to have done that. I was slightly jealous about the Tom Hanks character, at 11 years old.
You were asking for LSD for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I only got crack because my parents were cheap. So you know how it works. But this made a huge thing, and it just came out. It was really hard to find for the longest time. And what I just showed you was like a 40th anniversary Blu-ray release.
Oh wow! Was it an official release?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, so it looks good.
Yeah, it looks great. It's got a slipcase.
Oh, who put it out?
Things. So who put it out? Let me see. This is. I have old eyes.
Oh. We can figure it out later. It's not important.
It's like ABC, it says.
Oh,
not the different ABC.
Yeah.
But look at that. It looks like small, vanity. I'm not quite sure there's going to be a huge demand for these, but.
That's cool, though. That's a great pick.
Thank you.
So my number 3 would be on your list if you were choosing miniseries, because I am talking about the nights that CBS from 1979 brought into our house Stephen King's Salem's Lot. So this was directed by Tobe Hooper, who was hard and fast. I mean, he had made Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He would go on to make Poltergeist and Eaten Alive, and it's about Stephen King's novel, and it stars David Soul, once again bringing him up, and James Mason, and 1,000 other people. The story follows Ben Mears, who is an author returning to his hometown to write a book about a supposedly haunted Marsden house. not James Marsden's house either. However, he discovers that the town's citizens are being slowly turned into vampires. And when the people around the house mysteriously start dying, Mears discovers the owner is the master, the vampire who is turning them into his undead army. So again, I'm right. You would have this on your list if you'd have done like if you hadn't followed the rules. So
and broken the rules completely and totally, I would have this iconic vision of vampire film history on my list.
yeah, it was so. Now the Rob Lowe version of it, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, I mean it was done very well, but these two nights just have forever stuck in my mind. I have watched this movie over and over again. I have the DVD of it. I have the VHS. It is like you just iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, there's moment like there's single moments that it still resonates too. Kid at the window.
One of the scariest moments in motion pictures.
100%.
And again, like you said, it's a TV movie, so you don't see very much blood if you see any. Right. You don't see any nudity. There's no cursing. Everything is just and there's no CGI.
No,
so
no.
And there's a lot of monster models in there. Those Aurora models and stuff. Mm-hmm. So as a matter of fact, the cross that the kid uses at one point is broken off of the vampire model kit, and it's just like, wow, it's so awesome.
Have you seen the sequel?
I was actually going to bring that up. Yes, I have, and I actually watched it recently for a project that I'm working on that I'll tell you about off camera, and it was wow. It was something else. What did you think of it?
So I just wrote an article on it for Stephen King's sequels book.
Uh-huh.
And the article is about how Americans largely don't have folklore. We're kind of too young for it, so we steal other places and then we make it our own, kind of like the vampires we're doing in that story. And so, but it was centered around the director Larry Cohen and how he does that with different things. But yeah, I loved it for probably all the wrong reasons.
Oh, and gosh, what's his name? The star of it. Larry Cohen loved him. He was in it. He was in The Stuff.
He was.
Anyway. Yeah. He was just awesome. I mean, just
he's always great.
Yeah. So, are you a big Larry Cohen fan, or was it just?
I love Larry Cohen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've now. I usually wait till the end of the show. You and I are going to do favorite Larry Cohen films.
Oh shoot! Well, one of them's going to be Return to Salem's Lot.
Okay, that's fine. Don't tell me any other ones, because I have been looking for a person to do the Larry Cohen with, and
Larry's the best.
Oh, he's got some incredible films, and some of them are good for the good reasons, and some of them are good for some bad reasons.
100%. But they're all undeniably Larry.
Yes, they are. You are right there. You're right. All right, well, we're going to do that. But before we do that, I think this is the part of the show where we're going to stop and discuss what's going on in the life of David Hayes.
Okay? This year, SRS Cinema, I wrote a movie with Edward Lee, who you may be familiar with, called Ouija Slumber Party.
Oh, cool.
Later this year, it's a really goofy 90s-esque, like Cinemax sort of wonderful thing. And then I've been working on my album, which is going to drop this year. Whatever music provider you use, follow Dr. Cujo, Dr. Cujo. That's me. It's a horror punk band, and we've got a couple of singles out right now with the EP to come out later this year. I am Vocalize.
I cannot wait to hear that.
Yeah. So the first single out now, it's a duet acoustic cover of the Ramones' Pet Cemetery.
Oh, wow.
Which shouldn't exist, but it does. So yeah, Dr. Cujo on whatever streaming provider you have, and wait for a Ouija Slumber Party. It'll probably be on Tubi and the other places as well too.
Okay. So when you drop your EP, is there going to be physical versions of it?
Yeah, we're gonna do 12-inch
Uh-huh.
vinyl and CD and cassette.
It's awesome. You're going to do what, like a Kickstarter or?
No, no, we're just gonna make them.
All right. Well, I'm definitely going to want one of those.
Heck yeah, I will. I will. It'll be up on the website. So whenever you want to buy something from me, go to splattertheater.com.
Right. Unless you need somebody to do some psychology stuff there, and then you'd go to a different website.
You would go to hazecriminology.com, but that's only if you've either killed someone or you know someone who's killed someone.
So, would you agree that if you murder someone and bury them, that after you put the lie on it, you should put like a dead dog and then cover it? Or is that just like an urban legend because the cops would still figure it out?
I mean, you could. It wouldn't hurt. I would say that if you do kill somebody, do yourself a favor, make a little bit of a road trip and get them into the middle of a desert or into a swamp.
Oh, good.
Nature handles. Nature will handle.
Okay, there you go. Or in a swamp. Awesome.
Well, yeah, you're right by a swamp. Yeah,
yeah, I got plenty of them. I just finished
guarantee
Alligator too.
The swamps around you have stories that no one's ever going to know.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So what do you do 9 to 5?
I teach communications at Western Governors University.
Okay, all right. And so all of this other stuff is done in your free time. That's crazy, man.
Around the Fave 5 podcast, yeah.
That's true. It is your number one priority. I appreciate that.
It's today.
Wow. Well, that is great. Well, do you where is all your socials? We're going to put those at the very end, so
Yep.
we'll have that too. And go out and buy your books, watch your movies. Rotten Tail is still on Tubi. I'm pretty positive. I saw it there a couple months ago.
Rotten Tail's still on Tubi. I did my novel Keeping Molly was filmed. I did the screenplay for it, so that's also on Tubi. Joe Sherlock directed it. It's called Zombie Chronicles Infection Zone. If you want to, have some fun, low budget zombiness going on in your life, that's currently on Tubi still.
That's
that came
awesome.
out last year, and but yeah, we're just waiting for Ouija Slumber Party to drop.
Can't wait. That'll be cool. Well, listen, before we get into it, I do want to do a quick shout out. Fellow alum Jay Hall has a new book called College Unpacked. You can go to Amazon and find it. It's a great follow-up, or actually, I guess it's a prequel to God Help Me, I'm a Young Dad. And this is just a great book about things that they don't teach you in high school, which is a real thing. I mean, you don't know how to change a flat. You don't know how to balance you can't say checkbook, but how to balance all of these things. And they tell you because he teaches at college as a university as well. So it's a really great book. Find it and get it today. I'll have a link to it. And I also want to talk really quick about a book called Party of Liars by Kelsey Cox. Now, this is a really, really interesting book that I thought was going to be very outside of my wheelhouse. It's a story told from like 5 different perspectives, and someone falls from a balcony and dies, and you don't know who it was. And so you read, there's 2 teenage girls, there's the mom, there's the ex-wife, there's the new wife, there's the dad, and there's the babysitter. And so you go through the whole book trying to figure out, was it a murder? Was it an accident? And who did it? And who was it? And you don't find out till the very end. And I got to give a shout out to Kelsey on this, because the book ended, or I thought the book ended, and it was great. And then there's like another page. I mean, a whole nother chapter. And I was like, what more could she do? And slammed me with a whole, just changed the entire book. So anyway, it just came out, and not only can you buy a copy of it, you can also get the audiobook of it, and it's got a cast of every different person is a different actor as well. So that's it on my side.
Awesome. I love how audiobooks are a lot like radio dramas now.
They really are. And I don't have a lot of time to read. So I love audiobooks. But Kelsey's husband, Nick, actually suggested this book to me. So I pre-ordered it. And when it came out, I also got it on Audible. And again, let me tell you, I thought it was going to be like a little 16-year-old love fest and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, Nick, what did you do to me? But the writing is amazing. Takes place in Texas. And anyway, it's a really great book. So just wanted to give her a shout out. But what I'd like to do now, this is the part of the show that people all over the world wait for. And it is the penultimate choices.
Because you have like cheat codes for games at the end of the show, so they have to wait.
Yeah, this is like, people are like on the edge of the seats listening or watching, because now they're going to find out what our number twos are. So Dave, give me yours.
All right. ABC, 1972. So I didn't see it the first time around, but I fell in love with it later on. This is The Night Stalker. Oh, good.
Yes.
This is wonderful. So The Night Stalker, of course, the other TV movie that came out was The Night Strangler that followed a year later. And then the entire Kolchak, The Night Stalker TV series, then the remake series. This really kind of set the tone for me. This is my favorite television show of all time. Mm-hmm. And it's, it's based off a wonderful book by Jeff Rice that if you ever have a chance to read it, please read that. But it tells the story of Carl Kolchak, intrepid Las Vegas journalist. In the TV show, he was a Chicago journalist. Yeah. But intrepid Las Vegas journalist that finds out that there is a flipping vampire in Vegas preying on people. Of course, no one believes him. So it's up to Darren McGavin as Carl Kolchak.
And his straw hat.
In his straw hat and his seersucker suit to root this out. And it was, for the longest time, the highest rated TV movie in history.
Yeah.
It spawned so much. It's directly responsible for the X-Files. What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you. You said it used to be. Do you know what booted it off?
I wasn't sure if anything did, so I mitigated it.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. So I talked over you though. What besides the TVs and the books? What else did it help spawn?
X-Files.
That's right, baby. So much so that he got to come on the X-Files.
They didn't call him Carl Kolchak, but everyone knew he was Carl Kolchak.
Exactly.
And it was so incredible. It only ran for a season, the show, but this is a Dan Curtis production again. So we're back to Dan Curtis, Trilogy of Terror and Dark Shadows, and he knew what was going on with these TV movies, and it was it wasn't the Salem's Lot-ish. But it kind of had the same conceit as Salem's Lot, where no one believes that this is happening,
right?
And someone's got to find it out. Where David Soul was a stoic writer looking for truth, Carl Kolchak, Darren McGavin's Carl Kolchak, was a complete screw up. He's an everyman. David Soul was a best-selling author. Well, gosh, I could never be that. I could be Carl Kolchak. Yeah. And so the way Carl Kolchak bumbles through life, winning forward and then losing half the time, it's amazing. Again, it's Jeff Rice wrote the novel. Richard Matheson did the teleplay. So we are on horror royalty has put this together.
Yeah.
Simon Oakland, of course, the irascible editor in chief. I can't remember his name right now. What do you call him? Oh, shoot. I don't remember. But Simon Oakland was there. He came over to the TV show. The Night Strangler came over. Night Stalker was so incredibly popular. The Night Strangler was made. And then they did another TV movie where they combined two of the episodes
Right.
into a single TV movie later on. That had some an Aztec mummy involved with that one. But what this did, this kind of really it changed my perspective on horror and film. And this was like the first time that I realized we could have fun and not be as silly and campy as the Universal monsters from the 40s and 50s.
Right.
So this is where I'm like, oh, we can be tense and we can still have these everyman characters. And this was the I wouldn't call it what caused me to do anything, but this is where my eyes got opened really wide to the potential of storytelling and characterization in genre.
Yeah. And the music on these shows, they were they were characters of their own, you know.
They were.
You,
They were.
it's and the Mustang, it's so cool, you
Convertible.
know.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Yeah. And he would go on to be the dad in A Christmas Story. And
He would.
most of the time, people who aren't in horror, that's all they know him from. But the Kolchak was, what was it, 13 episodes?
Yeah, it ran about 13 episodes. And they were at the time it was weird because they were hour episodes.
Yes.
And you didn't have that.
No.
So it was set in Chicago. They ran for a season. And then it came out, I believe, 2010 or 11. They rebooted the series with a CGI Kolchak in it.
Yeah.
Gary McGavin had passed on, and in the reboot series, they put in a computer generated Carl Kolchak in the news office.
Oh wow! Yeah. Wow. No, but it was 13 jewels is what it was. That show. It could have gone on to do more, but it's like it was perfect. I mean, all of the episodes. Great.
I think the show got hampered by a distinct lack of budget because some of it was real cheese. And I don't think it caught on as a weekly as well as it did as an intermittent TV movie.
Yeah.
Except for the episode on the cruise ship with the werewolf, which is peak.
I love a lot of them. One of the things that you can definitely tell where they didn't have a lot of money was the headless motorcycle guy. But for me, the best one is the monster who looks like someone that you love and cherish. And that's just an amazing episode. I go back and watch that one all the time.
It's amazing writing. It's all of them. If we were going to compare it to the X-Files, every one of them was a core episode. So Helena Holliday X-Files had some alien episodes, so they had these core episodes. Every one of the Kolchak ones was a core episode. They didn't build toward a big bad or anything like that,
right.
But they all of them further got us deeper and deeper into a world that we don't really see. And Carl Kolchak was finding all these things out about this world that's around us. And I would say it set the stage for not only X-Files, but anything that came after it, Supernatural or I can't think right now, but any creepy, macabre sort of long-running television series owes a debt of gratitude to Kolchak.
Definitely. And the other thing is like, he was actually Mulder and Scully wrapped into one, because at first he, thinks, oh, well, I got to figure out what's going on here. And then when all the information is in front of him, then he actually believes in it. And it was kind of interesting that the next time something weird happened, he would start off being skeptical again. He was
a journalist.
Oh yeah. It
was great. It's how journalism should work. We could take some lessons from Carl Kolchak today.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent choice, sir. Two matches.
Look at that. We're geniuses together.
We are, and good looking too.
Because we look very similar.
Yeah. Well, except I don't have that little thing. Maybe I'll get one.
Give it time.
Yeah. True. Yeah. All right. Well, we are down to our ultimate, absolute favorite broadcast movies, or in my case, television events. So, David, why don't you give us your number one broadcast movie?
We probably don't have a match, and there's no way you can compete.
I can't.
Because we're going to be talking about Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park in 1978. I begged to stay up to watch my heroes, Kiss, fight Anthony Zerbe at Six Flags, California.
Right.
And it doesn't hold up. It's terrible. It's incredibly horribly made. Written by a couple of guys who didn't write much after, and stars some non-actors called Kiss.
Yeah.
Although Anthony Zerbe chews scenery in this. He's
my God,
amazing villain.
Oh,
but this was it. And this showed that the makeup laden band were also superheroes. They had powers, and from these amulets. And when someone went disappeared themselves from Six Flags right before one of their concerts, well, they're on the case, right? They're going to Scooby-Doo this thing,
right?
Poorly, and it's got a litany of TV people in it. Brian James is in it. Other people off the top of my head, I can't remember. So it's maybe not a litany. It's got Brian.
But they're
James.
there.
It's got musical moments. It's a band is playing the concert, so if you didn't get to see them in concert, you get to see a snippet of it here, and they get to fight android versions of themselves.
Yes, and there's even lightsaber duel.
There is one too. Yep, and there's a horrible and the stunt people are so horribly miscast. The different ethnicities and heights and facial hair. The makeup can't hide everything, so it's pure camp. It is just stupid pure camp. Produced by Hanna-Barbera. So we know that it is from the home of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
and that's where we're at with that one. And I believe it was. It's NBC. Look at that.
Look at that. Another NBC.
Back again.
But the scene at the poolside when the police come to talk to him and Demon, aka Gene Simmons, growls at him. It's just like, what are you guys doing? But then wonderful. You and I loved it. It was the best thing ever.
It was. I mean, I always wanted the 12-inch action figures. And we could never afford them. They were expensive back in the day. So I actually have them now. I grew up. I made money. And first thing I did was I bought those. It took me a while. They're currently in a display case with a signed love gun.
Are they in the box?
No.
Oh, okay. Because they should be taken out of the box.
No one's rich.
Yeah. Nobody's that rich.
But yeah, so there's some wonderful stories I've been obsessed with this movie for the longest time. If you remember, the voice of Peter Criss was not Peter Criss. He was largely too drunk to do his lines. So you may remember that voice as the voice of Bruce Banner from the Hulk cartoon running at the same time.
Really?
Yeah. Ace Frehley was going to walk off the set because he didn't have many lines. So they gave him lines.
Oh, well, there you go.
And it's so wonderfully and poorly done. Released overseas as Attack of the Phantoms. What a lot of people don't know is that it was a massive, massive theatrical hit in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Massive. And it's a recut. And if you have this, you can get Attack of the Phantoms in there with the theatrical cut, and in it, all the interstitial music that they use when like Zerbe's walking around and other things was just stock music. But in the theatrical cut, they actually use cuts from the solo albums as the interstitial music, so you get more Kiss.
Yeah,
in less time.
Wow. That's cool. Do you know what the difference in the movie, the cuts are? Yeah.
It's faster. And the ending is a little bit different, where we finally see the after effects on the evil, Anthony Zerbe. But really the major differences are more concert footage, and we get some real character development, utilizing the quiet moments with those solo album songs.
Okay, cool. Very nice. And an excellent choice.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
excellent choice. And you're right, because ours are not the same. Because once again, I chose a movie event. But I don't think you'll have a lot of problems with it because you were probably 12, and I'm sure you watched this and then talked about it in school. And it's directed by Nicholas Meyer, fresh off of Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, 1983's The Day After. It is just, it was scarring for us because we were very worried. People today, they see the stuff on the news and streaming online and whatnot and all the things going on around the world, and they're like, oh, that's a shame. But in the 80s, in the early 80s, we were seriously worried about a nuclear attack. And this movie is it shows you, it hypothesizes an actual physical war between the NATO forces and the Warsaw Pact countries that goes into a full-scale nuclear holocaust. It focuses on the effects of small-town residents of eastern Kansas. Over 100 million people in 39 million households watched it. Um, it is it it's really interesting because it was one of the earlier uses of what may be considered found footage, in that they had real people doing the news broadcasts before. They were using real footage, of planes and all of this other stuff. And you had all of it kind of going on in the background. And then when it happens, it was done in such a way that, oh my God, this is what it could be like. Ronald Reagan at the time was the president. He actually watched it about a month before it debuted on TV. And he wrote in his diary that the drama was, quote, very effective and left me severely depressed. It was nominated for 10 Emmy Awards, won two of them, and is also one of the highest rated television films in history.
So that was over 2 or 3 nights, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was terrifying. And like we'd seen, because we're just, coming off of we're in the middle of the Cold War still. We're still, you and I are still doing, nuclear war drills in school. So it's, this is reiterated at home. And this is the first time that they suburbanized Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And it already been high level rich people, or some other country, or how's the president going to deal with this? This is the first time it went to suburbia.
Right.
And that's an incredibly powerful thing. It's similar to the Britain's equivalent of Threads.
Right. A couple of years later.
Yep, which is the same thing, same template, and yeah, this is really good stuff, really really good stuff.
Yeah. So the movie itself was only 2 hours and 7 minutes. So was it only one night?
I remember it being over a couple of nights. Maybe maybe they did a theatrical run with it.
This is, let's see. Um. Okay. No, it says it's just a movie.
All right.
I don't remember that. Like you, I pretty much thought it was over 2 nights. Um. No, it was one night.
Right. You
That's
inadvertently followed your own rules.
Did not mean to. Gosh darn it. So let me get rid of that, and I'm going to put on. And it was on ABC, November 20th, 1983. It was the 7th highest rated non-sports show. And in 2009, it was rated one of the highest by the Nielsen TV ratings.
Maybe that booted Night Stalker.
Yeah, maybe. And it also was broadcast in the Soviet Union. So anyway, Again, Nicholas Meyer will always hold a place in my heart for not only what he did with like 7% Solution, a very, very interesting movie that brought to me the addiction side of Holmes, but what he did for Star Trek with The Wrath of Khan, and how he took a movie that had an incredible budget that put some people to sleep and turned around for a fraction of the budget and makes what in many people think is the best Star Trek movie ever. Um, it was just, yeah, I think you will. I'll fight you. I'll punch you in the arm. So you better agree with me.
Take it for Khan.
Yeah. But that's it. That brings us to the very, very end. And it was a great list, sir.
Yours was great as well.
Well,
When it followed the rules.
If it followed the rules, but it didn't. So, speaking of Threads, it is actually streaming as well because I watched it recently. And man, it was so depressing in so many ways. It was like I couldn't believe it. But if it's out there, I would tell you also to watch that.
I forgot to show off my TV movie shirt I wore for this.
Oh, what do we have?
My combo Kolchak Trilogy of Terror.
That is awesome with both of them.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Look, that is a great shirt. Speaking of Kolchak, I have met a few times J.K. Woodard. He is an artist that does all of the Mirror Universe stuff for Star Trek. He was actually part of a trade paperback that was all Kolchak stories. And
50th anniversary, right?
Yeah, 50th anniversary version of it. And so he had this at his booth, and it is really awesome. And my friend Kirk actually bought at least one, if not two pages from it. But I don't know where you would get it. It's from Moonstone, but I bet you JK still has some. On his
Moonstone released. There's tons of Kolchak books and novels that came out. So yeah, that was all through them.
Yeah, some great stuff. Well, wow, man, this, especially knowing how you're hurt, I just can't thank you enough for taking the time to do this.
My pleasure.
Man. And now we're gonna do Cohen's.
Now we're gonna do both Larry and he's really the only Cohen for me.
Yeah. Yeah, the brothers, I don't know, they can make a good movie too.
They're the no-age Cohens. We don't talk to them.
It'll give you something to do while you're recuperating.
Yeah, let's hope it. I have to fit it in.
Well, I also want to thank all of you out there for tuning in to Fave 5 from Fans. We hope you enjoyed diving into all of the stuff that was on your TV. If this episode resonated with you, then here's how you can help us reach more listeners. Share it with someone who'd love it. And if you're feeling generous, drop us a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choice. As you can see, there's a lot of them. Your reviews genuinely help other fans discover the show and keep the Plastic Microphone Studios creating the content that you love. And you can find us across all the social medias. And you can also come on and tell us what broadcast movie you liked that wasn't on the list, or what we got wrong. It's all about favorites, and we want to hear what yours are. Thanks for being a part of the Fave 5 family. You've got more great episodes that are coming your way, so make sure you subscribe, hit like if you're on YouTube, whatever you need to do to get them every week. Speaking of, new episodes come out every Friday.
Unless they don't.
Hey. So be sure to subscribe and follow us so you can catch all of the episodes. And remember, folks, it may not be the best. It may not be the most popular. But if it's your favorite, then it's good enough for us. Thanks so much for joining us. David, take us out.
I'm going to go watch a TV movie. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be not a miniseries.
All right. All right. I'm going to pay for this for a while. I know. Take care.